Hi there, I'm Chris Rachel Oslin with the Austin Post. We are back here at the House of Torment, and they're going to show us how to make a 3-minute boil just like you can do a 3-minute egg, except instead you're going to be using liquid latex, cotton balls, simple paint wheel that you can get at any of your Halloween costume shops, and a paintbrush. It's that simple, and you're going to see an amazing effect.
And I'm going to show you guys how to do a boil. It's actually really cool. So what you want to do is you want to just put a thin layer of latex in the area that you want. I'm using a brush now. I just find it's a lot easier and you don't get those chunks that you don't want. Like I said, don't get it in the hair because that will be not fun. And then with the boils, you actually want to take some cotton balls. Definitely don't just put the whole cotton ball on there because that'll be pretty ridiculous. But you want to get enough to where you get some variance in the thickness and the texture. You can kind of pull it out and you want it to blend in. So I try to get the thickness in the center part and try to pull out the edges so you get that sort of natural look when you put it on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just attach this right to the latex and it'll stick. As you can see, I probably have a little bit too much, so I'm just going to pull off what I don't need here. So you've got your base there. And then all you're going to do is you're going to put another layer of latex completely on top of all of that. And once the cotton balls get wet with the latex, it gets kind of soggy. So you can start playing with it and reshaping it. It's almost like using wax or putty, because it has that sort of texture. For a boil, you want it to look disgusting. You want it to look yellowish, you want it to look kind of green, you want it to look very discolored. You don't want so much blood in there because boils aren't blood, it's part of your skin, so it's kind of like an infection. As far as makeup's concerned, you always want to start with the lightest color first that you're going to use. So in order to do like a boil, I'm like, okay, I'm going to use some yellow as first. So that's kind of like your base color. So I'm going to start applying some of this yellow. See, it already looks kind of festery and infected. So you get that sort of discolored look. And now it's not so much her skin, but it's got that yellowish quality to it. Now I'm going to go in with some green and just pick out some little detail spots that I want to work with and start shading it. So as I can see, this one's a pretty big part right here, so I'm going to go ahead and start putting some green in and around the edges. It even kind of looks like a boil when you pinch it and poke it because it's cotton balls, so it's easily manipulated. And then over here, I'm just going to shade it with some more green. It may not look like it's doing much, but when you step back, it actually is doing a whole lot. Greens and yellows are obviously part of the same color sort of group. They're analogous, I guess is what the word would be. So I'm just adding in some green there. And you want to play. You know, there's not one right way to do this. That's if any tip I give you guys, that's pretty much the best tip I can give, is that there's not one right way to do this. It's all about personal preference and what you want it to look like. Then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with some dark brown and I'm going to get the shadows in there. So to make it pop even more, I'm going to go around the base of these larger sort of areas that poke out more. And I'm just going to kind of accentuate them. So any place that's closest to her head, I'm going to shade that part. So last minute touch that I like to use is with a stipple sponge. A stipple sponge kind of looks like this. It's a regular sponge, but it has a lot of texture to it.
And is that something you can get at the Halloween stores or at a regular store?
Oh yeah, these cost like 5 cents at any of those Halloween stores or any of the makeup stores. At the Halloween stores, they probably will come in like a package. So if you're looking at like the witch kind of kit, because they sell these sort of kits. They come with a lot of this stuff together, which is a great way for beginners to start out because they give you everything. So anyway, I'm going to take this stipple sponge, and I'm basically just going to go into any other color that I want to accentuate. So if I want it to look a little bit more green, a little bit more yellow, but I want to add this as texture. So thinking about texture, if you want it to be kind of gritty, you would use a darker color. For this boil, I'm probably going to use a little bit of brown and a little bit of yellow. So I'm just going to dab it in each color a little bit, get some on there, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to start stippling it on there. And it starts giving you that little extra texture. You want to be sure to go on the edges because you don't want this to look like it's so clean. You want it to look like it's kind of spreading. So you want to go around the edges of her face, go down below. That's where you're really going to get that infection part. So that's basically how you do it. That's a burn you got there. That's a nice little pustule formation on her forehead. She looks so beautiful. You can do this at home, like I said. Get all those supplies from your local retailers, and definitely come check out the House of Torment.